Mr. Turkington, how are you?
Good afternoon, Kirk. I'm fantastic.
Happy birthday, first
Hey,
and
thanks.
foremost.
Gosh darn it. I appreciate that.
39, Holden.
I gotta, yeah, I gotta practice my breathing exercises to blow out all those candles. It's gonna be a challenge.
All right, let's get into this seller concession. Kind of a goofy word, throws people off a little bit. Seller credit, seller concession. What does it mean? Why do people use it? Let's get into a little bit of that to help everybody realize that this is something we haven't been talking about for at least 18 months. It's just coming into play again right now. Diarrhea of the mouth. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Get me started.
That period of time when it was a strong seller's market and there were multiple people putting in offers, what that means is the seller can sit back and wait for the cleanest, most simple, highest offer price. And it's really easy from their side. And concessions or seller credits were a thing of the past. We didn't see it. You said it very well. It's been at least 18 months. Now that things are cooling off and a seller cannot put a sign in the yard and have 12 people in line with offers ready, and it's sitting there for a little bit, now buyers have the ability to be a little bit more creative and ask the seller to concede from their asking price in a couple of different ways, whether that's purchase price or providing credits to help the buyer's situation in some way, shape, or form. I just reiterated or reciprocated the blah.
I love it. I'd be 3 months ago, you were paying over asking price. 3 months later, now you're not, and you're possibly getting a perceived discount.
Negotiations, from the buyer's side, it's leaning more in their favor.
Heading back to normalcy. So this is a huge relief for first-time home buyers, especially. They were the ones that were having to go into their 401k or to their parents to come up with the appraisal gap monies needed to facilitate the transaction. Now they have a little breathing room and their barrier of entry has just been significantly reduced. Yes, we have higher interest rates. Yes, we have higher values, but we're not competing and we're not bidding it up over list price where we need the actual cash. Okay,
thank goodness.
So let's keep it simple for a second. We're going to stick with first-time home buyers and let's talk about what a concession does and how it looks to the consumer in a simple format. So give me a purchase price, or let's say it's 400.
Yep.
Thousand.
So this is going to vary a little bit depending on what part of the country you're in. So Michigan, Florida, Arizona, Texas, they're all slight nuances. But the way I describe it is when you buy a home, you have 3 buckets of money that you need to account for. Everybody knows about the down payment. Everybody knows that there's mortgage costs associated with a loan. Those are between $2,000 and $3,000 for services needed to lend the money. But then on a transaction, you also have a bucket called prepaid items. That's your first year's worth of homeowner's insurance. That may be mortgage tax in Florida. We've got to establish an escrow account. In some areas, we got to pay the seller back for taxes. So that can be, in that bucket can be a big thing. So a seller can help offset everything except for the down payment. So they got 2 of those buckets that they can help relieve the burden of entry for the proposed buyer. I'll just use an example, say a $400,000 home in Michigan. Chances are the closing costs and the prepaids, that could be upwards of $8,000 to $9,000 depending on the property taxes.
Okay, so down payment for first timers typically 3.5% in that range. On 400 grand, we're talking 12 to 15 grand. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then you say that again now, bucket 2 and 3 or how much?
Bucket 2 and 3 are going to be, we'll call it $8,000.
Okay. So we can make purchase price 400. We can have an $8,000 concession to pay for those bucket 2 and 3. seller nets 392 and is okay with it.
Yep.
And buyer gets in now for 12 to 15 grand or just their down payment, and they're financing over 30 years that those other monies. Okay.
Gosh, yeah, you can have opinions. Do I really want to finance it for 30 years? That comes up a lot. The moral of the story is everybody's scenario's different. And my cheesy way of saying this is that something has to drive the bus, meaning that if you have enough cash, then you don't want to roll that in or finance it. But if you don't have enough cash at the time you're buying, well, then you really, you have to finance it, and you just work on whittling that down over a period of time.
Okay, so we're looking at their monthly budgets and their debt load and their savings or lack thereof when we're helping them determine, okay, let's get through 3 months of home ownership where you make 3 payments and your credit card bills are, what is it, dog day?
They don't like this topic.
So we're trying to look 3 to 12 months out and go, are you going to need the money or not? With that extra 8 grand in your pocket to put in blinds.
Well, we were just talking about it, right? Your daughter bought a home, just closed on it 3 weeks ago. They can't drive by Home Depot or Lowe's without stopping for something, right? Would you say it was a lawnmower?
They got a leaf blower yesterday. A lawnmower is coming in probably today because they've been in there a week and a half and he's got to mow the grass, and it's good stuff. Totally. But all normal. So most of our move uppers and or second home or investment property, they're not using concessions. They have cash flow. They're trying to keep their monthly payment, purchase price lower, monthly payment lower, pay that thing off or down quicker.
Yep.
So simplest format, first timers pretty much always, if they can get concessions, awesome.
Yes.
Move uppers, not necessarily. I mean, unless you're really,
if you're trying to buy before you sell, you might need to manipulate that a little bit. I mean, there's exceptions to the rule, but you said it best. This is almost critical for first timers, just because, again, if you get concessions, this is my favorite second bad joke. In 26 years of doing this, this is the problem I've been able to solve every time. When somebody calls me up 6 months after closing and says, Ken, you were an idiot. I have $5,000 extra in my checking account that I didn't think I'd have. That's an easy solution. You can always pay the loan down. But if you don't get the 5 grand and then you start racking up credit cards, or you start to get to a state of discomfort, and with a low down payment, there's not options to pull any equity out in the short run. So yeah, huge fan of the concessions.
Okay, so real estate agents have been doing this for a while. They know about this topic, but this is where it has not been talked about. Again, 12 to 18 months. You're going to want to bring it up. You're going to want to bring it up to your lender. You're going to want to bring it up to your realtor and say, how do I do this? What does this mean? And hiccups with concessions are the appraised value again.
Yes.
That's really the hiccup.
The only other thing is you go in asking for too much before you talk to the mortgage person, and you end up getting more money than you can actually use. So yes, the appraisals first and foremost, that's a deal breaker. The other one's just kind of an administrative, and you have to fix it.
All right, so we should not have appraisal issues for months because we're working off the highest comps, sale comps in history. So that's what makes this time for a first timer critical. You have a window. We're not forcing anyone to purchase anything, but it is a window right here where you're going to get concessions and it's going to work. And we're under the assumption that at some point in the next 24 months, we're going to start to get some rate pullback or some easing. All right, guys, relax. They said, yeah, rates are going to come down. Dog said.
The
refi boom is coming.
the Boston Terriers say rates are headed down.
That's right. That's the sign, guys, that this thing is turning and we are
That's
on our way.
surefire. It's been right
That's right.
100% of the time.
All right. Thank you for the information, guys.
Good job, man.
Like, subscribe to our channel. Thank you for all the support and wonderful day. See ya.